Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. But what's up, Steam Deck fans? You know the Steam Deck tribe, nation, universe, world, legion. What's good? Mob, what's happening? Squad, what's up? You nerds, geeks, and freaks. You investigators. I just did a video on the Steam Deck Oled has a sound update coming, so I'll keep you guys posted on when that update comes out. It's supposed to be a part of the Linux kernel 6.8. So yeah, you know, Valve is always on top of things. Here's another one. The performance and power improvements of the Steam Deck Oled 6nm APU. Alright, says here the Steam Deck Oled has been on the test bench for the past few weeks at Phoronix. The HDR OLED display of the update Steam Deck handheld game console is gorgeous and is very see if I can get this here. And was very impressed by it. On a technical level, the battery life improvements are significant, and one of the items I was most curious about were the power performance implications in improving from 7nm Van Gogh APU to 6nm die shrink version while retaining a Zen 2 CPU core and RDNA 2 integrated graphics. Here's a look at the performance CPU consumption between the Steam Deck LCD and the Steam Deck OLED model, not only for gaming but for Linux workload too. Well, the Steam Deck OLED was built for 2024, you know. It really was. And this shows that at first my Steam Deck OLED benchmark, I was curious to stress the new hardware, but if you focus on looking at power/performance difference, 6nm AMD APU compared to prior 7nm Van Gogh APU of the original Steam Deck LCD. Say the 6nm APU is effectively just a die shrink with the new Steam Deck. Will have 4 Zen. The new Steam Deck will have 4 Zen 4 cores, 8 threads, clocking up to 3.5 gigahertz. RDNA 2 clocking up to 1.6 gigahertz, and the APU power rating of 4 to 15 watts. Oh yeah, that's a major improvement. Four Zen 4 cores, 8 threads. That is pretty good. So basically that OLED came ready to work. It says here, while running a wide range workload, both gaming as well CPU system workload. For being curious over 6nm power performance, I was also monitoring the SoC power and consumption using exposed power cap RAPL interface. I would have also monitored the SoC temperature too for a different, but it wasn't loaded on the Steam OS. Wow, Valve really did their homework on the OLED. That both the Steam Deck models with 16 gigs of RAM and running the latest Steam OS rolls as. And they did their work on this. That's all I can say. They really did. So when 2024 rolls around, whatever game comes to Steam Deck, well, they'll be ready for it. And it's not just OLED; it's OLED with HDR. So that's big. It says here, while Cyberpunk 2077 performance wasn't any different with the Steam Deck OLED display with a higher refresh rate was more beautiful to look at, and confirmed the slightly better SoC power efficiency. On average, 6nm APU with the Steam Deck OLED was around 0.1 watt less, while the beak was 0.6 watt lower. Yeah, this chart shows a lot too. It says with the Unigine Valley benchmark, performance was ever so slightly better than the Steam Deck OLED, while again the peak CPU power consumption of 0.5 watts lower than the original Steam Deck 7nm APU. I think optimization is the name of the game here when it comes to this the Steam Deck OLED. I mean, optimization was the name of the game when the first Steam Deck came out. But this OLED is really driving the point home. So yeah. So I guess when Valve was doing all them, listening to all those customer feedbacks, they were working real hard at it. It says in other graphics workload, the Steam Deck OLED CPU power consumption continued to show slight power benefits on average, and the peak power consumption was slightly around 0.5 watts lower than the Steam Deck LCD. So basically, this thing is saving power. You know, the graphics performance wasn't all that different as expected, given the same CPU and GPU configuration of the SoC. But with the die shrink, there were indeed slightly lower power consumption with the Steam Deck OLED model. Paired with a larger battery, this is good news for gamers on the go. Yeah, they did their OLED is worth it, you know. That's why they're taking their time building. They're taking their time with that Steam Deck too. So it should be better than both these. It says there. What else? Shows the Steam Deck LCD, OLED, CPU only, monitor consumptions. It says outside of the graphics gaming workload, the CPU power consumption on the Steam Deck OLED was slightly lower than the workload Blender. And keep going here. It says while delivering similar performance, the Steam Deck OLED was achieving around half watt saving on peak CPU power consumption across various workload, and on average 0.1 to 0.5 watts saving. Shows the chart here. It says okay. And then the final paragraph is like this: it was fun to see the benefits of Valve transitioning the Steam Deck APU from 7 to 6, and indeed quantifiable across not only game/graphics but also CPU/system workload. Outside of the Steam Deck Intent Focus, paired with 50-watt battery on the Steam Deck OLED compared to 40 WHR with the Steam Deck LCD, mobile gamers can enjoy longer gaming sessions with the new Steam Deck revision. Valve rate the Steam Deck OLED as capable of sustaining 3 to 12 hours of gameplay compared to 2 to 8 hours of gameplay with the original model. Most incredible though with the Steam Deck OLED is the beautiful OLED 90 Hz display. The modders got that up to 120. More thoughts on the Steam Deck OLED in the follow-up article, with the first wanting to get these APU performance power bench out the way. Thanks to Valve for sending over the Steam Deck OLED model for review on Phoronix. Got 33 comments. I'm sure those comments are pretty long, so I'll have to say those comments for another day. But yeah, they made some improvement from the original models to the OLED. So that, to me, the Steam Deck OLED was built for 2024. So it's going to help it in the long run. 90 Hz refresh rate. The modders got it up to 120, 110, 120, and then 70 on the LCD. So right now, yeah, definitely worth it. It was worth it from the beginning, but they improved things, and they're going to continue to. I'm sure they're in the lab studying the original and the original 3 models plus the newer models, and see what they can draw from both the first 3 models versus the first 3 with the just LCD, and then the second 3 models was just LCD and OLED. I'm sure they're probably studying that to see what they can pull from it and then apply it to the Steam Deck too. So when that time comes, they'll be ready. They'll be ready again. But right now the OLED is doing its thing, you know. And the OLED is not just OLED. It has HDR built in. So yeah. And what was it? An SDR. So yeah. So today's December the 9th. 2024 is moving right along. I mean, 2023 is moving right along. I mean, Steam Deck is moving right along. You're messing up here. But yeah. So far, so good. But in the last video, they talking about improving the sound on the OLED. I didn't know the OLED had a sound problem. When that update comes, I'll let you know. Anyway, leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek 9 or Dark Section. Peace.